working 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., trying to bang out like 600 calls to complete strangers every single day. Definitely be confident, show the smile, take a lot of notes, ask great questions.
How is this actually going to impact your life personally from the income, from being remote? Like, what's the actual impact you're thinking this is going to have? Today's episode is a client interview with Emmanuel, who made a jump from insurance to tech sales. And the primary driver for him was wanting to be a better dad to his daughter. Fill me in again with kind of where you were before you wanted to break into tech sales, and why was that career path like not going to be a good fit for you long term?
Yeah, no, I was just selling the insurance 9 to 5. And really to take it to the next level, I would have had to, become the agent, quote unquote. Have the storefront under my name, probably get some employees, all the overhead, to really take it to that next level where I get that income that I want for my family. But of course, that would take me away from them even more. And so yeah, that's what I'm super excited about here. Being able to have that like the flexible time off, the flexible schedule, the income to match my goals, or at least the start of that income, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, let's go. So was tech sales brand new to you then, or was it an option you were considering? Like what else were you looking at to make a change?
Yeah, no, I mean, pretty much I was thinking about going back to like just mainly life insurance sales, where you get that high commission, but you got to invest in your own leads, and it's pretty much working on your own, so not really being part of a team. Which
Mhm.
I did before, what I'm doing right now. But yeah, it's more of it's a longer grind,
Yeah.
when you're investing in your own leads and you got to make it happen for yourself, versus when, there's like huge advertisements, commercials, people calling in, which is where I'm at right now. But obviously, even better than that is being in a corporate level sales job.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you get so much more stability, so much more investment from the company. You're not buying your own leads, all that crazy stuff. So was tech sales kind of like not even on your radar then till you came across my stuff?
Honestly, yeah, no, it wasn't on my radar at all.
Wow.
I had seen
Okay.
your ads, I think like at 1 a.m. in the morning, and it was like started with the Bible verse, and so I kept watching, and yeah, that really drew me in. I didn't reach out right away, but it had stayed in my head for a while. I was like, okay, that sounds great, you know.
Mm. So you're doom scrolling at 1 a.m., just trying to go to sleep, and boom, random stranger pops up on your Instagram feed telling you about tech sales. What were your initial thoughts? You're like, huh, like, is this real? Could this work? Like, what were your initial thoughts there?
Honestly, it wasn't so much that; it was more like, how quickly can I make this work? Uh,
Mm,
like what would it take from me to get the result that he has that he's talking about?
yeah.
Yeah, because I've always been open to like investing in myself, very open to learning more.
Mhm.
But that was just the very first time that I came across, tech sales. I always seen other ads like high commission, high base, is it possible? Click here, but they didn't get straight to the point, they didn't relate in a way that was attractive like the way you relate it.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I'm like, okay, like these words make sense to me. I want to hear more.
Yeah. Yeah, there's probably like 2 people that are listening to this podcast. One person already knows about tech sales, they're trying to break in, they're aware, but a good amount of people are just learning about it for the first time, and they're kind of exploring, is tech sales, gonna be a good path for me, stuff like that. So for you, like, what drew you into tech sales specifically?
Yeah, I guess what drew me in specifically was like the idea of having a higher level conversation, a sales conversation at a higher level. Because I started in network marketing. So with your warm market, friends, family, um,
Mhm.
and they always say, they'll give you more grace if you mess it up, right? So just go talk to everybody right? And so I did that for a while, got to the point where I'm like, okay, I need to find more people, right? Like I don't know that many people to build a career off, and me personally, right? A lot of people do. But so from there, I went to having a slightly higher level of conversation in terms of sales. And once I got good at this level, I started thinking, well, what else could I sell? How much better can I get? And that is what really drew me in, really being in a position to, really elevate my skill level as well as my income, because that's always been something that I wanted to, match.
Mm-hmm. And none of us are here just to make more money to make more money. Like there's always a personal driver. So for you, what is that personal driver to succeed and to want to even change careers and make sure you're on a good path? Like what was actually driving you in your personal life?
Yeah, my main driver was just spending more time with my daughter, being able to, pick her up from school, go to like field trips with her, have the time off, like when it's available. If I have the time off, I'd love to take it for that. In my last role, I think I might have told you on one of our first meetings, that I had put in one day, for a field trip to the zoo with my daughter's class, right? But my boss was actually, it was like it's a small business, like 6 employees, and the boss
Mhm.
was taking a vacation that week, right? So she said, "Sorry, need you there, my star player," and
Yeah.
it's like, oh, okay.
Dude, how did that make you feel as a dad?
It made me feel like I was like playing a really small game, honestly. Like I think pretty highly of myself. I think I'm very capable. I'm proud of what I'm able to do for my family. Um, but then, I just want to take one day to really spend the day with her, and
Mhm.
supposedly I'm able to. But I'm listening to somebody else's orders, when it's I didn't sign up for the military, right? If I did, that's another
Yeah.
story. But yeah, it just seemed crazy to me that I would have to listen to somebody else, dictate the time that I could and couldn't spend it with my family when I had, technically the time available.
Yeah, man, that'll fire me up, right? Like, I don't want to be a slave to someone else's preferences, right?
Yep.
And of course, there's always going to be someone in authority over you unless you truly like even if you end up starting your own business and you get investors, well, you're a slave to your investors. Even if you start your own business and you don't have investors, like you're kind of a slave to your clients. Like no matter what, right? That's just the nature of work. But to your point, man, the cool thing about tech sales is you get to become an intrapreneur. So you don't have to necessarily step out, start your own thing. You can jump into a company, corporate environment. There's a lot of safety there. There's a lot of like resources to invest in you, to take care of you, but you get to develop your own business within their business. And you get a lot of autonomy. And there's certainly autonomy as an SDR. Like you get to work from home, you get unlimited PTO at some companies, and your actual day to day, your managers, if they're good managers, they typically don't care how you're spending your day as long as you get your stuff done. That's like the normal experience. But even as you promote out of SDR, you go into management or AE, you get much more autonomy. Like most of my career in tech sales, I literally got to schedule my whole week the way I wanted to. Of course, I have objectives and KPIs and stuff I have to hit, but there's so much autonomy in this because this isn't like a sales role where they have to necessarily micromanage you because they already vetted your quality when you came in. And that's kind of a big difference. Like these commission only roles, they'll kind of work with anyone that's willing to work,
Yeah,
right? Because they don't lose any money unless you make money. But a company, they're investing upwards of 100 grand in you just to bring you to the company. So they've already done the vetting they need to know that like Emmanuel's going to show up and work hard. We don't have to like necessarily micromanage him. So yeah, just a little tangent and to give the listeners an idea of like what autonomy and flexibility actually look like in tech sales.
definitely, definitely. Super excited for it.
Yeah, bro, 100%. So you had mentioned like you saw the ad at 1 a.m. doom scrolling and you took a while to reach out. What actually led you eventually to reach out and be like, yo, I want to do this?
Yeah, it was that little story about the field trip. Yeah, that was
Okay.
the end of the school year, May or June, and yeah,
Yeah.
June like 14th, I think we had our first meeting,
Mhm.
and we just got going.
Okay. Yeah, and there's a lot of people that have never invested in themselves. They've never taken a step like that. I've invested over 60 grand in my business, like in myself. It is scary, right? Because you're working with people you don't know, and is this actually going to work and all of that. But what do you say to that person? Because you sound like you're very pro investment. You want to grow your skill set. What do you tell that person who's like very skeptical of investing in stuff like this?
Yeah, I would say honestly, you're your own best investment. If you're gonna spend 8 hours, 10 hours a day working building somebody else's business, you typically don't come home and spend nearly as much time working on yourself. And when you start off, you either have time or resources, right? If you can't spend the 8 hours personal development, developing your craft, learning, from free courses, great. I didn't have the time, but I did have the resources, so I was able to put it in to speed up my learning process through, your program. And you
Mhm.
being a coach with a consistent track record, that's where I want to be.
Yeah. I think Alex Hormozy said it something like this. You have the SMB 500 or SMP 500, but what he likes is the SME 500, where you invest in yourself, not another business, because average return in the SMP is like what, I don't know, something like 9%, while average inflation 6% a year. So you're really only making 3% gains per year in the S&P 500 when you can invest that same money into yourself. And for me, like I got into tech sales 5 years ago at 75K entry level, and in 4 years my income went to 190K. That's a 200 roughly a 250% increase in total compensation. So like, yeah, I could have dropped 10 grand in the S&P 500, or I could have invested in myself. And look where we are, look where you are, because you made that decision. So
Definitely. I love that story, by the way.
yeah, well, it's Hormozy's, it's not mine, so I can't take the credit. So when it comes to you joining the program, you're gung ho. You're a great client, by the way, man. Just so eager. You implemented everything. But in terms of the actual job search, like, what do you think we do so different here, and why does it work so well compared to maybe the old way you thought of doing a job search?
Yeah, I think what really makes the biggest impact is the personal introductions, to the connections that you have. Just because I'm very used to applying somewhere and giving them a call, but I'm also not as used to doing a deep dive into the company, finding all the key players, hitting them with multiple touch points, finding the ways to hit them with those touch points. And then, like I said, the best, the most, like the warm introduction is just, it's, it's a warm introduction. You can't beat that.
Is that how you landed this offer? Was it a warm intro?
It was actually.
There we go.
Yeah.
And you sent a video through, and they coordinated the interview.
Yep. Sent it to the hiring manager. She connected me well, she just gave me the email of the recruiter. She said, I love
Mhm.
it. Send your resume over to the recruiter and we'll see what we could schedule out.
Yeah.
I went out, had the interview, stayed in contact with that manager throughout the whole process. Nothing crazy, but she would reach out. She said, "Oh, I saw you got that first intro interview. Great." And, I'm obviously being grateful, asking for like a tip. And she said, "Oh, just show eagerness. You'll be perfectly fine." And then I did the full interviews, and they sent me an automatic email actually the next day saying that they were not gonna go forward. Yeah. And then but that was this Friday, just before this long weekend here. Labor Day, Monday, that hiring manager reaches out to me on LinkedIn. She says, "Hey, glad to see that everything went extremely well. And I think the recruiter is going to reach out to you tomorrow with some good news."
Weird.
Yeah, a
Okay.
little weird. So I was like, "Okay, I'm super open."
I got I got rejected, but yeah.
Yeah, I told her something. I told her, I got a little bit of correspondence on Friday, but I'm still, of course, super open, very eager to have a further conversation, right? And so they reach out. The recruiter tells me, "Yeah, I know you spoke with the manager. You were referred by this other SDR.
Mhm.
You mentioned some other SDR on your deck. Everybody had great things to say about you. We love the eagerness, and so we'd love to show you an offer, extend you an offer."
Wow. So that right there is the value of doing the job to get the job, because
Yep.
let's say you had just applied as just anybody from the street, and you had to do that video interview thing they did. They would have probably just weeded you out right there. Even if it was on accident, you would have gotten rejected from that, and you would have no one to talk to at the company about it. But because you impress the manager, that auto rejection happens. They're like, "Oh crap, no, like we really like Emmanuel. Like let's extend him an offer." And so, yeah, man, it really is about doing the job to get the job. Quick interruption, y'all. There is a link down below that will give you access to our free school community where you can learn about how to break into tech sales. It gives you everything from resume templates to how to do outreach, how to find good jobs, all of the above. So join for free. Just click the link below and we'll see you in there. And so for you, as you're going through the interview process specifically, like you got to do the job to get interviews. That's how we do that part. But as you're in the interview cycles, do you have any tips for anyone listening? Like, what are some things they can be doing in these interviews to crush them?
Yeah, during the interviews, definitely be confident, show the smile, take a lot of notes, ask great questions. I ran a lot of questions by you, and you helped me fine tune them. Um, but also, what was that main thing? Really, the thank you emails. The thank you emails I felt were huge. Just because you get to plug in your own personal tidbits of I like this from the conversation, I like that. And so making sure to really customize that and having a good point that you can bring up later in the thank you emails. Because like I said, I got that automated rejection email, but I had already sent my thank you email, and my thank you email is what she responded to, the recruiter. So it's just it could be a coincidence, but it's probably not. They probably
Yeah,
liked it, so that's why they probably one reason why they chose to reach back out. But just being
it's a good point. Yeah, it's a good point, man. Those thank you for me as a hiring manager, those thank you follow-ups can be a make or break. So if I really like a candidate and I have other candidates I'm looking at, if that candidate I like doesn't send me a thank you follow-up, it's actually a ding against them because how as an SDR are you going to follow up with your prospects, right? And that's what you're trying to show is like you're very proactive, you're very communicative, you're on top of it, and so I think that's probably to your point, is what helped him realize like, whoa, this guy's dialed in. What are we doing here?
for sure. Yeah, but I definitely had that thought, so I'm glad you
Yeah.
corroborate it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Take me to Monday, so Labor Day. What did it feel like to actually get the offer? Like to hear those words come out of their mouth? Like what happened?
Honestly, so I got that text on Monday, Labor Day, like at 9 p.m. from the hiring manager. So in my head, I'm like, oh, let me wait till 9 a.m. to get back to her. So I did, and she's told me all that. But so I seen the message. I didn't even want to look at it fully. It's 9 p.m. on the holiday. I'm like, oh my God, is this real? Like I just got the rejection email. But looks great. I don't want to look at it, and I don't know if LinkedIn says you looked at it, and she'll see that, right? So I waited till the next day to open it, text her back. I got the email from the recruiter. She says, when do you have 10 or 15 minutes to call? I'm like, oh my God.
Are you just getting like excited? Like what do you feel at that
Yeah,
moment?
super excited, super grateful. I had gotten that rejection email on Friday. And so I had just said, you know what? I'm gonna lock in. I applied to some other places over the week on Monday. And then I'm like, let me just be grateful to God for putting me in a position where I can attack this, right? If it wasn't meant to be here, I'll find it somewhere else. So I was just, at a place of, understanding, and it's okay. I accepted it, and all of a sudden I'm surprised. You know, like,
Wow, bro.
oh, let's go. Put me,
So you getting that offer, I mean, that's crazy because I'm sure when you're sitting in the bed at 1 a.m. looking at this ad, like you don't know the journey to get to the offer,
yeah,
right?
not at all.
But now that you're here, man, you did it. What advice or what would you say, almost if you were like a big brother to your younger self that was in insurance and not sure what to do? What advice would you give that Emmanuel?
Oh man, the advice I'd give myself probably just to completely give into the course right away. Because I probably didn't give into the course completely right out of the gates. Like I had the similar reservations probably everybody has, thinking I knew what I was gonna do, realizing I didn't know at all what I was gonna do, and just kind of if I could have accelerated that first part, I know that I could have at this point, right? But sometimes when you're barely getting into it, you're like, man, I just got home from work. It's late. I'm tired. I'll do a little bit today. But if you just hammer it right out of the gate, like it would just be a lot quicker. I know. I already know
Yeah.
it'd be a lot quicker. But it's that personal hesitation, tiredness, excuses that you give yourself that come up anywhere, anytime.
Mhm.
But yeah, if you know the end result is there, if it could be guaranteed to you, how much harder would you work?
Yeah.
But the
100%, man.
it's your own
Yeah.
effort.
Everything worth it in life comes with sacrifice. Like there's nothing that didn't come with sacrifice that's worth it in life. And so the simplest example is like the gym. Like if you want to get in shape, unfortunately it requires some pain and some decisions that don't feel good in the moment, but in the long run you start to feel really happy about. So I think that's really wise advice.
Nice.
And with this role, I mean, dude, this company's growing so fast. It's competing with some of the top dogs out there. How is this actually going to impact your life personally from the income, from being remote? Like what's the actual impact you're thinking this is going to have?
Yeah, honestly, I think I will be able to pick up my daughter from school every single day.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's honestly like um immediate impact. That's my biggest thing. 'Cause like right now I'll do it like and I like barely eat because I'll do it on my lunch break. I'll try to eat between calls, or like it just is not, fully pleasant. But me understanding, like high value clients are probably still gonna answer at the beginning of the day, end of the day. Having that autonomy, be able to give myself just that little bit of time, just get her, eat with her, get back to work. But at least, I'll be able to dedicate that time block to her. Um, and that's my biggest thing right now, honestly, because the income, me grinding, working super hard, being at the top level that I could be as an employee. I think I should, if I hit the OTE, I'm still making more money right here.
Mm,
But it's not life-changing money yet, right? So the life-changing aspect is going to be that day-to-day schedule, being able to like live peacefully and know that I'm not also like one of five. I'm not like a leg of this table where if something goes wrong, they're gonna point at me because I'm the top player. I do want to be the top player, but I know I'm gonna have a team of top players to rely on. So that's
yeah.
also the biggest thing because I like motivation. I like competition.
Yeah,
I'm
bro.
excited to get back into a field where I'm not the top dog.
I love it, man. You're such a good dad, bro. And these morning pickups are going to be cemented in your daughter's memory forever. And it's actually going to develop because any parent out there knows like when you're driving to school and dropping the kids off, it's not just a drop off or a pickup. It's like the conversation that happens in the car
Yeah.
and you getting to know each other. So man, my heart is just like grinning right now for you and your daughter.
Nice, nice. I love it. I appreciate it. You got me thinking even more about it.
Yeah, bro, 100%. So let's kind of play out like the what if scenario, man. What if when you saw that Instagram reel where my face popped up, what if you just kept scrolling? What if you never did this? Like realistically, where would you be right now if that never happened?
Right now, I'd probably be back at investing in my own leads, working 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., trying to bang out like 600 calls to, complete strangers every single day. No type of due diligence on them, no type of feeling like I'm being strategic, just work, work, work. Um, no type of community to be a part of. And all of that it does end up weighing down on you, or at least like make you feel like like you don't have support because I was there. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to leave, working for myself, quote unquote, at the time. Also, I didn't have the skill set probably necessary to take that to a high level at that point. I wanted to develop my skill set as a part of a team, have a structured schedule where I could still show up for my family a little bit, but that role, it was getting to the point where I needed to. I really believed that I could if I went back to that initial investing in myself, higher commissions, all commission, right? Only. I did get to the point where I thought that if I went back to there, I could make more money. And so that was my initial mindset since I always wanted to take care of my family. So that's the reason I got there. I just realized that I couldn't do that way at that time. So I went to develop my skill set, and I was at the point where, okay, I need that income now. So either I put in that 9 to 9 schedule and I'm gone, but we make the money, or I don't know what else. So when I saw
Mm.
this, I realized, no, what's a little investment in myself?
Yeah. It's just insane to me how life and where we are in life it's the sum of all the little decisions we made along the way. Right.
Yeah,
And so there's people listening right now in your shoes. They're not showing up as the parent they want to be. They're working too hard, but they're on a hamster wheel of like, well, if I don't work this hard, we don't have the income. And so, the encouragement, it sounds like from you, is like, just go for it, because the what if is too scary to not find out.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Cool, man. Last question for you. What would you say about how Sword specifically helped you land this job offer?
Yeah, a few things. Definitely, that warm introduction was crucial. But also just like the steps, the processes, and reaching out, the schedule, the sequence. Because like I said, I'll have the notion in my head, apply somewhere, give them a call, but not to be strategic with the touch points. To be strategic in the wording, to reach out to current workers, current SDRs, reference them, get them to refer you, which was incredible how open current SDRs at companies are to helping you out. I really didn't think they would. I just didn't think they would. But so many people I reached out to even roles that I didn't get, they're like, "Hey, keep me updated on your journey. Let me know when you land a job here. If not, anywhere, whatever is cool. Let me know. We're connected, right?" And it's just like a different level of professionalism that I really wasn't used to, and I didn't think that most people would be like that. But it's crazy when you think about it because like they say that at least the most successful people, I think they say most of the people in the world are nice, if you give them a chance.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times you don't think that you could be a little pessimistic, but just opening up my view with the positivity in the group, uh, the scripture, everything really combined together just to at least make my experience very positive and having a great outlook on not just the
Yeah.
prospect, but in the career and the community in general.
I love it, man. Well, congratulations to you and to your daughter for getting her dad back for these morning pickups, man. I'm so proud of you. And look, you're part of the Sword community, so you're gonna stay in contact with me. So if you need anything in this new role, you can just shoot me a message, and I'll be right there to help you out. And then we're giving you some other resources too to make sure you start the role the right way. But yeah, man, congratulations. I'm super proud of you.
Thank you, Jack. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah. And to all the listeners out there, if you want to do what Emmanuel did, go ahead and grab the link down below to meet with our team. We'll talk about your background, figure out if we can help you or not. Warning: if you're not willing to work as hard as Emmanuel did, don't join. We don't need you here. It's hard work. But look at Emmanuel's story, his journey. You can do it if you're willing to put the work in. So thanks, Emmanuel. Appreciate you, man.
For sure. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day.